Howdy there, Internet students. Mr. Hermanson again. Today's lesson will be about surface area and using a net, which is a flat figure that can be folded to form a closed three-dimensional object. People use nets to create like packages, like cereal boxes, things like that. So you can actually get a job creating these nets. Anyway, what we're curious about is if we can come up with a net to help us so that we can find the surface area, because the area of the net will be the same as the area of all the surfaces of the object, since it's folded to make that object perfectly. Okay, so I'm going to ask you to make a guess about these nets and whether you will be able to fold them into a solid or not. And then go ahead and cut them out and see if you were right. So you have a spot for your guess. On this number 1 here, I'm gonna tell you to guess that it'll make a net. Guess that it's a net. And then when you fold it up, you will see that you create a solid. Okay? So you're either going to get it right or wrong. But go ahead and do that and check back and see if you got them right. All right, here's what I think. Now remember, you can't, in order to be a net, you can't have any overlaps. It has to fit perfectly. And some of these, they would kind of make nets, but I think they would overlap quite a bit, like this one. And like this one, the triangles won't meet. All right, so once we have a net, we should know the different parts of the net. So we're going to name the prism once we have it. Like this first one here is a cube, because every face is a square. It's also a rectangular prism. Okay, and the base, I mean, you can pick whatever you want for the base that you want, but I'm thinking of this as the base, which means this one here would be the other base, and then the height would be the distance between those bases. So there's your height. Okay. So go ahead and see if you can guess what the next shape is going to make. The next 2 shapes are going to make, and then label what you think are the bases. All right, here's what I got on that. Okay, so to draw a net, it's easiest is to start by drawing the base shape, and then add a wall to each side of that base shape. Each wall should be the same. Draw another base shape across from the first. So here, I'll show you how to do one, and then you can try the next one. So draw a net for a prism with the triangular base shape shown, and we want the height of the prism to be 6 centimeters. So we're going to have 6 centimeters between the bases. So you can start by drawing this, and that'll match the one side, and then on the other end you'll have another triangle like that, and then your height is the distance in between that. So this is your base area, and that's your height. And then you just need onto that 2 more faces that will match up with these 2 sides of the triangle. So this length right here should be the same as this length right here. I think this side, maybe I made it just a little bit short there. So like that maybe, and like that. All right, so why don't you try to do a rectangular prism? Rectangular prisms have 7 faces. You decide which of these dimensions you're going to use for the bases. I'm not really concerned that you get it exactly 4 inches, 6 inches, 9 inches, but just that the side you say is 4 inches is the shortest side on your rectangle. All right, here's what I got. I thought my bases would be my 4 by 6. Those are my bases. And then my height is 9 in between them. Okay, so just kind of trying to make sure this length of this line is the same as the length of that line. It should be if you're going to cut it out. Okay, and that's for prisms. Think about the base shape of a prism. You need a wall to be raised on every side of that base shape. Those become the sides of the prism. Each wall needs... Okay, so the surface area of a rectangular prism is the area of the exterior surfaces of the object, measured in square units. Or it's the area of all the faces, or the area of the net. Okay? So, and you can take some shortcuts because there are identical faces on a rectangular prism. Whatever you get for this area right here will be the same as the back. Whatever you get for this area will be the same as the left side. Whatever you get for the top will be the same area as the bottom. So in general, you just need to add up the areas of all the faces. Here's a formula you can use that's kind of a shortcut for finding the area of a rectangular prism. Okay, I'll show you how that works. So to find the front, you would do the length times the height. And then multiply that by 2, because there's 2 of them. To find the left and right side, you would do the width times the height. And multiply that by 2. And then to find the top and the bottom, you would do the length times the width. And multiply that by 2, because there's 2 of those. And then you would just add all those together. Okay? So if you split those up, the top, the bottom, they're going to be the same. So the top and the bottom are 9 times 4, which is 36. The front and the back are 9 times 8, which is 72. And the left and the right are 4 times 8, which are 32. And then you just need to add all those up. So we're going to add 36 times 2, which is 72, plus 72 times 2. So now we're up to 216, plus 32 times 2. And that gives us 280 total. There's more than one way you could do it. If you wanted to just add up these 3, then double it, you could do it that way. So that's 104, 140 if you add those 3. And then just times 2, because these 3 are the same, which is 240. A couple ways to do it. You decide which way you like best. Go ahead, you try number 16. Accurately do the top, bottom, front, back, left, right, and then add them all up. Here's what I got. Now remember these, since these are all areas, these are square feet. This is an outside surface, not the number of things that fit inside. So this would be square centimeters on this one. All right. Tissue box is 12 feet long, 6 feet wide, 3 feet tall. It wouldn't hurt for you to draw it out a little bit. So it's 12 inches long. That's the longest dimension. It's 6 inches wide, if you're good at drawing these. So that's 12, that's 6, and it's 3 inches tall. So it would kind of look like that. All right. If you have a hard time drawing that, you just have to multiply 12 times 6 for one of them, 12 times 3 for one of them, and 6 times 3 for the other one. Go ahead and try that. Here's what I got for that. Okay, so now I'm not going to set all that up, but you can go ahead and find. So think about, you're doing 6 faces. You're doing the front, the back, the left, the right, the top, the bottom. Go ahead and try that. See if you like this heart method. Here's how I did it. So when you have the 3 dimensions here, you do, for one of them you do 8 times 9, so I did that 72, and you know there's going to be another one like that, so I did that twice. Then you have to do the 8 and the 4 together. That's this part of the heart. That's 32. And you have to do the 4 and the 9. That's 36. And each of those twice. So if you like that method, go ahead and try it. These are the same problems that you did the last time. But so if you use the heart method, you would do the 12 times the 6. You would do the 12 times the 3. And you would do the 3 times the 6. And remember, you need 2 of each of those. So here's your 72. Do that twice. 36. Do that twice. And 18. Do that twice. And you get a total of 252 square inches. Go ahead and you try that on the last one. See if you could simplify the process for yourself. All right, here's what I got for that. Okay, you're ready to do your homework? Go ahead and do it on this sheet and then put your answers in the Google form, and we'll see you soon.